Okay, this is the latest in the development video series of Project Universe. A couple things have been done since last time. I think maybe the last video I did was on spaceship movement, player movement specifically. I had one, I believe, on NPC movement, and now one on player movement. But since that time, I've actually gone ahead and purchased some things off the asset store. For example, this fine-looking spaceship right here, which kind of looks a mess. I'm not sure why it looks so crappy. It didn't look crappy earlier, but at any rate, here is a spaceship right here, and we also have a space station, which I found both of these on the asset store. So what I've got now is our space station example. Here's our egress point. So when someone spawns, they'll spawn at this location. We have our player ship, and then we also have some jump gates. These are not, I don't have models in place for them yet. I do also have a UI, which we will see in action. I do have a rudimentary, just a basic setup for crew display, so that your crew and their health will be displayed over here. So essentially what we've got, let me see if my sector controller is running as it should. Let's see, we've got up to 5 different merchant prefabs. We've got 2 different police prefabs, but no miners yet. We have up to 10 merchants and 2 police. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play, and we're going to see what's going on. So here we've got our camera, which is attached to our player ship using a follow camera. This is our jump gate, and as you can see, we've got little people who are coming out of the jump gate, going on about their business. Over here on the left side, we've got our crew lineup. Right now, this is just some generic images of crew members and life. You can see this, the first guy here, who's going to be, this is the pilot seat. He's hurt, just for testing purposes, so you'll see his green bar is significantly lesser than the others. So right now you've got free mouse pointer. Basically nothing happens. You could technically click around and I guess do stuff here on the screen if you wanted to, but when you hit spacebar, you get under mouse control. And I realize that this is kind of is a little bit too loose. You're moving a little bit too fast here for this, and that's kind of not exactly what you would expect from a gigantic hauling craft. But let's see, what did I? Oh yeah, here we've got our police. Okay, so if you use the mouse button, you will activate your thrusters. I don't have particle systems running yet, but we are getting closer. We can actually match speed with these guys, so we can travel essentially kind of at the same speed that they are. Let them get ahead of us. So this is our police. I still don't have the proper turning script, and as you can see, he kind of went into the jump gate before he turned around. I have to fix that as well. So he's going now from that jump gate. He's patrolling up to this jump gate, and meanwhile we've got this space station. So we've got actually a here we have a merchant who's leaving the space station, and he is heading back to the jump gate, and we'll keep pace with him, and we'll kind of watch him as he goes into the jump gate and hopefully disappears. I've had a couple issues thanks to Git, that it's been eating my code, so I've had to kind of recreate everything from scratch today. Well, not really from scratch. I was able to recover all the code and all the assets and everything like that, but still, it was kind of a hit and run. Jesus, a touch and go is what I want to say. These guys are actually disappearing. They're just kind of this jump gate 3D object is just too big, so that the actual mesh is bigger than the detection radius, so they're actually going inside and then they're vanishing. So all of these guys, of course, are only going to this one station that we have. This is the only station that we have right now, although the pack I bought has 4 different stations, one of which I am going to use for the jump gate for testing purposes. So here's our station. People are, of course, vanishing into the station. I hate to do it, but I may need to go back to a trigger system because I want them to actually, vanish before they get into the model itself, and I don't want them kind of flying out of the model. But one thing I was struggling with was, bumping into the station. So I did add the rigid bodies and the colliders to them, but unfortunately, what happens here, if you'll see, I'll bump into this. These guys just kind of go in. But if I bump into this, you can see I don't get to do anything. The station's not moving, but what happens is now I've got this jitter because I've got the is kinematic flag on the rigid body turned on for the station, and I have it turned off for the player. So the player is continually drifting. I just need to investigate how to fix that because obviously we don't want that kind of a jitter. So that's more or less what I've got right now. Obviously, I also have a Skybox, so I have to work on the, your ability to essentially move. Maybe what I'm missing is the banking. When you turn, you need to kind of bank a little bit instead of just rotate like that. That's an interesting thing I need to work on. I need to consider. I need to work on the police to make them a little more, so it doesn't look like they're just doing 90-degree angles. And I also need to work on the collision for my player here, so it doesn't look like he's just had too much caffeine.